Potter fans have been around since way back when the first book came out. It brought us muggles, Quidditch, and made magic wands a thing again, where you didn't have to say bibbity or bobbity. I'm sorry, what? Pottery. Well, that's different. Never mind all that.
So when you add that Y to Potter, you open up a vast story about American art pottery, with vivid chapters on the colors, the glazes, the shapes, and the history. And to think it all started centuries ago, with fancy ladies painting china to pass the time.
Art pottery and china painting begins in the mid to late part of the 1800s, when young women of great social means and financial means were encouraged to decorate china.
I met up with curator Charles Sable to learn more about art pottery, the wealthy women behind the movement, and the successful industry they created.
What is art pottery?
Art pottery is ceramics that were made mostly by women, but to decorate the home.
Not utilitarian.
It can be utilitarian, but the primary purpose is decorative. Things like plates or vases. And what these young women did in the mid to late 19th century was paint floral forms on them, pictorial scenes. A lot of these women, some of them become very accomplished.
So who are the early prominent exponents of this, of art pottery?
A woman named Mary Louise McLaughlin. She lived in Cincinnati, was very wealthy, and her sort of nemesis, a woman named Maria Longworth Nichols.
And these women are known as?
Were known as the dueling divas of art pottery.
And it became a pottery throwdown.
Absolutely.
Did they sort of push each other to become better?
One could argue that they did. It was this tit for tat. And the whole result was that art pottery moved ahead, both technically and artistically.
What about women who were not to the manor born?
The most important of these was a woman named Susan Frackleton, and she raised her family on what she made, on art pottery. She then went off and started a studio in Milwaukee to teach women how to produce art pottery in the 1880s. But even more importantly than that, she published a book, and it was a manual for women to teach women how to paint pottery, china, etc.
What is the legacy of art pottery today?
The beginning of female liberation, women's liberation. In the Victorian period of the 19th century, women were homebound. They were not allowed to work professionally. Art pottery began the transition of moving women outside the home into the work world. They produced things like books, associations, which led into museums. They experimented with glazes and produced new types of glazes that were unknown in America, and ultimately created an art pottery industry for America.
It's an important legacy, and might I add, a beautiful one.
I would totally agree.